Have you ever closed a textbook feeling like an absolute genius, only to wake up the next morning and realize your brain has completely wiped the hard drive? I remember lying completely paralyzed in a hospital bed, terrified that my future was over, until I realized that while my body was broken, my mind was perfectly intact. It was in that moment of absolute stillness that I decided to unlock the infinite potential of the human brain, eventually winning medals in memory championships. Hey there, Raghu here, a certified memory coach on wheels. Welcome to my podcast. The topic of today's episode is why you forget easily everything you study. Having survived a severe spinal cord injury, I learned that our true power is in the mind. And now I am on a mission to help students, competitive exam aspirants, stop struggling with rote learning and tap into the infinite potential of their brains using proven memory techniques. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon. A frustrated student sits across from me. He looks down at his hands. He takes a deep breath. He shakes his head slowly. His voice cracks as he says, "Sir, I just don't understand what is wrong with my brain." He had spent hours reading the night before. He highlighted every single page in bright yellow. He underlined every key concept. He closed the book feeling productive. He felt confident. But days later, when he tried to answer a practice question, the page in his mind was blank. Everything had vanished. He felt defeated. He genuinely believed he was unintelligent compared to his peers, thinking they were naturally gifted while he was broken. This is exact emotionally charged moment many students face every day. They do not lose confidence because they fail exams. They lose confidence because they keep forgetting despite their hardest efforts. I asked him what he did to study, and he said he read the chapter multiple times and reviewed his highlights. Here is the shocking truth. Reading creates familiarity, not memory. Recognition says, "This looks familiar." Recall says, "I can bring this information back without looking." Well, let me explain this with a simple example. Imagine I show you a photograph of a famous movie actor. Immediately you recognize his face. That is recognition. Now imagine I ask you to write down the names of all the actors you saw in the last 10 movies you watched without looking at your phone. Suddenly it becomes much harder. Why? Because you are forcing your brain to use recall. Exams strictly test recall. Yet, most students spend their entire academic lives practicing recognition. Your brain is a survival machine. Every single second, it receives a massive tsunami of information, notifications, conversations, background noises. To prevent overwhelming you, it constantly filters out what it deems unimportant. If you do not revisit information, your brain discards it. A German psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus proved, proved this with the forgetting curve. Within 24 hours, a massive chunk of new information evaporates if it is not reviewed. This is not a flaw in your intelligence. It is simply a feature of your biology. Forgetting is entirely natural. You must learn to work with your brain rather than fighting against it. Memory is built entirely through strategic, repetitive reinforcement. Imagine walking through a field of tall grass, yeah? The first time you walk through it, the journey is hard. There is no path. But if you walk that exact same route daily, the grass gets flattened. A clear, visible dirt path begins to form. Your neural pathways work entirely exactly the same way. Every revision strengthens the path. Every recall attempt deepens the connection. But passive revision, just rereading your textbook, is a dangerous trap. It creates the illusion of learning. You must use active recall. Read a page, close the book immediately, force your brain to retrieve the information. Memory is a muscle, my friend. You do not grow your physical muscles by watching someone else lift heavy weights, do you? You grow them by doing the heavy lifting yourself, right? So, the biggest mistake students make is assuming forgetting means failure. Forgetting is not failure. Forgetting is simply feedback. It tells you the memory needs reinforcement. So, stop saying, I have a weak memory. Replace that sentence immediately. Instead, say, I am learning how memory works. Memory is not about natural talent, it is about strategic training. Well, if you connected with this episode and are ready to stop suffering through rote memorization, comment below right now the word remember. And that's it for today. See you again in another brand new episode. Thank you. Bye bye.